Ryan Gass here, PTP-Gun.com, Firearms Training, and today I'm going to be showing you the installation of the Tourniquet Strut on my 6360 Safariland holster. All right, so we're going to start by taking off this screw right here at the top of the holster as you're wearing it. All right, it's going to need a 1/8 Allen wrench. So we're going to loosen that up. All right, and we'll make sure we don't lose this part on the inside, all right, because we're going to replace it with a longer screw that's supplied with the strut kit. So now what we got to do is we got to take these screws, we got to loosen them up, and we got to take them off. We're going to reinsert them from the inside through that hole, and then we're going to reattach them right on there and screw them down tight. So let's go ahead and do that now. Now what we're going to do is the screws, and it's going to mount to the strut through this hole right here and this hole right here. All right, and just so you know too, by the way, this is actually made by 1110. But what we're going to do is to get these screws in, what we're going to do is we're going to take this backing, put it on my fingers like that, we'll match it up with that particular hole. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a little bit of Loctite down in there. All right. Again, you don't need a ton, but you also don't want to be too gracious with it. All right. Now we have our screw here. We're going to go ahead and match that up with that. And we're going to tighten that down. Not too tight because I want to still be able to manipulate a little bit. We'll go back and tighten it up a little bit more when we're done. So now I'm going to do the same thing right here. All right. So again, right here, this screw, as you see it right here, is going to go through this hole. It's going to protrude up through here. Again, we're going to take our screw and washer on the back side. Again, a little bit of Loctite. I'm going to just put it on the screw itself. Drop that down on. And again, tighten it up. Now, once we got this one on here, now we're going to go ahead and tighten them both up nice and firm. Again, you want it firm, but you don't have to over tighten it. That's what the Loctite's going to do, is going to hold it down firm for us for the foreseeable future. So now we need to go ahead and start affixing the Tourniquet Strut to the holster itself. We're going to start from the top and work our way down. So we have our long screw and the little bezel there. We're going to protrude through here. We're going to put a little dab of Loctite. Right. We got the washer on that. Rubber grommet here. That's going to be, from what I recall, last time I put this on a holster, this is where it gets kind of annoying. You can lose parts and stuff, so take your time on it. I'm going to apply that pressure. The trick is getting it started onto the back. Once you get started, it's easy from there. Just going to nice and firm that up, just for now, all right? Now what this is going to do is this is going to wrap around, and it's going to use those screws that are already kind of there, all right? So it's going to make sure it's not flopping around from the bottom or twisting. So let's go ahead and get this screw out. All right, let's get that out without losing it. All right, so before we affix the bottom to the holster itself as well, I want to go ahead and show you a little trick that I came up with. All right, sometimes the tourniquet wants to slide out of the holder as you're holding, as it's mounted to your body. So what I do is I take a little Ranger band and I slide it up and over. All right. And I'll show you better in a little bit once we get it all put together exactly what that does and the purpose that it serves. All right. So now we got the Ranger band on there. Let's go ahead and finish the installation. So we're going to put this grommet here through this side. And we're going to go ahead and take the screw through the other side. Now again, go ahead and make sure you use some Loctite on there. Feed it through. And now we're going to thread it on. Now some people, you know, might say, oh, what if I forget Loctite? If you forget to start putting your Loctite on, take it back apart and use Loctite. Loctite's very important on keeping this all secure and together. Make sure it's not going to fall apart on you. It doesn't matter what brand the you know, gear you're dealing with is. Loctite is an absolute must, especially when you're talking about your everyday carry. All right, gonna make this nice and firm. Good, it's on there. All right, now let's go ahead and get the tourniquet in, and I'll explain to you why I use the Ranger band. So the tourniquet, more or less, once you get it all ready and staged, go ahead and slide it on through. All right. What I do with this Ranger band is I have it holding the tourniquet in there because it falls out relatively easily. Also, what I found is when I'm carrying it, this Velcro can kind of stick to your clothing or things in your vehicle, and it'll grab on and want to pull that tourniquet out. So what I do to kind of better secure that in there is, like I said, I put that Ranger band on when I installed it, and I just, nothing crazy. I don't like really keep it in there tight, but just enough so I can be able to get the Ranger band off real easily and get the tourniquet out when I need it to, but it also is going to hold it in there for my everyday use. All right, so again, tourniquet back in, put the Ranger band over top the edge, all right? Just enough to hold it in, but it still easily can be taken out. So let's go ahead and get this on my belt and go ahead and see how it interfaces. I'm also very curious to see my last 6300 series holster that I had a Tourniquet Strut installed on. I didn't have the hood, so I want to see how that interfaces and if it gets in the way. All right, so let's go ahead and put the holster on and see how it interfaces. Again, I'm using the RTI system. For more information on that system, check out this video in the cards above. We did a great video in depth on this holster as well as the RTI system. But we're gonna go ahead, put that on there. All right, lock it into place. All right, now I'm gonna use, again, I got my firearm clear, no round in the chamber, no magazine inserted. All right. And with this, all right, it looks like I am able to use my hood if I so choose. All right, and then also I can get to the holster, I can get to the tourniquet strut, the tourniquet holder, very easily. Again, if I need to get that tourniquet out of the holder, I can get that strap out of the way real quick and get the tourniquet out. Now let's say that I'm under stress and I don't remember to get the rubber band out of the way. It still gets out of there relatively easily. Again, the rubber band holds it in, or the Ranger band to be specific, holds it in, but it doesn't get in my way too much. Now I will say that if you're going to use some type of band in order to hold that tourniquet into the holder, Ranger bands are much better than rubber bands. Rubber bands, if you ever use them for different things like that, they give way and they dry rot real easily. Ranger bands, on my last holster, my last 6300 series holster with the Tourniquet Strut, I had a Ranger band on there that I used for well over a year before it finally gave way. And it did give way, it did break, I had to replace it, but it took over a year. In the past, I used to use rubber bands to hold my money to my my minimalist wallet, and rubber bands would give out every month. But the Ranger bands, they hold up for months on end, so definitely looking to get in some Ranger bands, relatively cheap. But again, this is the completed 6360 with Tourniquet Strut system from RDR gear, and I got my tourniquet installed there. This is great for your everyday carry because, like I tell my students in class, you are going to be, at least from my experience, all right, can't speak for everybody, but I feel like you're going to be much more inclined, you're going to be much more likely to have to use a tourniquet in your life than you may have to use a firearm. But at the same time too, if you do have to use your firearm to defend yourself, that may be because someone's using a firearm also against you, and or a bladed weapon or whatnot. And in such a situation, while you're defending yourself, you may also need to have a tourniquet on hand for yourself or for others around you. So it's a great thing to look into, tourniquets and having a tourniquet on you. I'm going to go into more in depth on tourniquets in future videos, and also I'm going to show you a piece of gear that I got from the Warrior Poet Society. So make sure that if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button and be looking out for those videos. Those will be coming very shortly. Also, my experience is different from everybody else's. You know, everyone's experience is unique in life. So do you have a tourniquet strut yourself? Maybe something like this, maybe a different brand. How did that work out for you? How did you like that gear? Was it a good piece of gear? And would you recommend it to other people? Let me know and let others know in the comments below. Also, if you're looking to find the RTR gear holster that I'm using today, the tourniquet strut, go ahead and look in the description below. Any gear that I have here, I'm going to put links in the description below so you yourself can get the right gear as well. Thank you all again, as always. We can't do this without you. Appreciate it, and as always, remember to train, defend, prevail.